Hey, I'm sorry, my mic muted.
I guess Amir can moderate. Yeah.
Is he gonna
Yeah,
fully
I'll give
be
a
here?
perms to Infinity too.
Wait, hold on. So it's pro circumstance versus pro choice, right?
Yes, sir.
And I'm just thinking pro circumstance.
Like Infinity. You see, like how ignorant this dude is. Like, bro, what?
No comment, bro. No
Your
comment.
folks debate all over again, bro.
Hey,
GG.
mentality.
What's up?
Hey, Infinity, you have perms now, by the way?
Huh?
Just so it's clear, I'll help it, and Infinity will also help
Yeah,
it.
mentality. Can you
Actually,
record?
works perfect.
Yeah, I'm recording right now. Like, you guys just think you're like, you guys just like say arguments and shit.
Okay, yeah.
Or,
By the
like,
way, just to clarify, when it comes to my
Establish.
Just
Yeah,
establish
like,
stance.
yeah,
And then,
nice,
you can-
like established premises.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, yes, go ahead.
All right, bro. So, just to clarify, for the recording, of course, I'm taking pro circumstance, and to clarify what exactly that stance is, right? I think that
Hey,
in certain
you wanna
instances,
swap
it is
the phone?
morally permissible for a person to have an abortion. And I also think in certain instances that it is morally impermissible. I'll give, analogies outlining each one. For example, let's say if someone were to have a medical instance, I think that would be completely okay. Let's say if the mother's life is at risk, or let's say maybe, they didn't necessarily want to have the baby. Of course, at that point, I think that would be completely morally permissible. But I also think that, in an instance to where, let's say the baby's life is purely being at a brand risk, or let's say that the baby's life is purely being terminated only to spite and incite, violence or, emotional distress for the father or for anyone being used as a weaponizing attack, I think that would be morally permissible. So clarify your stance.
I believe that there is no instance in where the action itself is morally impermissible. Like, I believe that a person, I can support a person's right to make their own decision.
So you think it's always morally correct? That's what you're saying.
The action itself, yes.
You think in every instance
to do
that abortion is morally permissible? That's what you're saying.
I was gonna expand upon that, but yeah, the initial action itself, yeah, it's not inherently.
What do you mean inherently? What does that mean?
I just said the action itself.
Yeah, but I just asked you. What do you mean by inherently?
Like ground zero is that.
What do you mean ground zero? Because the action can have different context to it.
And
if I'm saying that it's conditional,
the action
then
can
it's
be
obviously
violated
based upon the conditional, right?
Nobody's disagreeing that the action can be
accidentally agree
by
with my
morally
stance,
impermissible
right?
things.
So I'm just saying, do you think there's a condition or circumstance, right, to where it is okay not to have an abortion, or what?
I'll say it for the third time. Okay, I'm saying
you can say it for the first time because you didn't clarify that beforehand.
No, I said it. Well,
no, you didn't.
No, it's fine.
Right? You clarifying and repeating yourself. That's not actually answering my question, right? It just means you're assuming what I'm asking.
Answer your question.
So what am I asking?
You already asked the question.
What am I asking?
You asked me to say whether or not this would adhere to this. You said,
dumbass nigga. That's not even what I asked. I didn't even use the word adhere. Yo, bro,
I can't reword your own argument,
again, bro, so you're not confused. Listen. I'll just clarify this again for you, so you're not confused. What I'm saying, right, is that my stance in every circumstance, right, there is a circumstance to where it may be permissible and it may not be permissible. Your stance is that in every circumstance, right, that abortion is permissible. That's what you're saying, correct?
Yeah, that's just
cool.
what I said.
So now that we've gotten past that, okay, chlorox. So this is what we're gonna do, okay? Do you want me to just break it down? Like, do you want to go first? I want to go first. Why is your stance correct? Why in every instance should abortion be permissible?
Well, my stance was that there is no situation in where the action itself is inherently impermissible.
Cool. So again, I'm gonna ask you again, and why should I believe this? Why is your stance correct? Why in every instance should abortion be permissible?
Like any general moral compass
of yours personally, correct?
Of course.
So what about another person's moral compass? What separates yours from another person's?
That's entirely subjective. I just said it doesn't violate
Again, that's
mine.
the point. So what separates yours from any other person?
Why does that matter?
It matters because what if I give a different perspective? Now, at what point is that the case?
If it violates yours, then that's perfectly fine. That doesn't.
Yeah, it does violate mine. So now what? What do we get from it?
If it violates yours, then that means it doesn't violate mine, which I
don't
said was
care.
the
That's the
inherent
point.
basis
So that means we
for why
have
it
two
was
separate
impermissible.
instances. Yo, lower your mic, bro. I don't want to start loud micing. And you know your mic's
Nobody's
not
loud
just,
micing.
just calm down. Just calm yourself
Nobody's
down.
loud micing.
You are.
What the fuck?
So shut up,
No,
right?
I'm
Because your mic is
not.
literally piercing and breaking itself because you don't have better Discord, right? And you don't know how to loud mic. So I suggest you calm down.
Nobody's loud
Just
micing.
don't embarrass
Relax.
yourself because it just sounds like you're lagging at this point. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna say
nobody's
again,
loud micing.
right before this inept retard started over talking and speaking. Okay, here's the reality: if you have a moral lens that's contradictory with my moral lens, and we're arguing on the basis of why each moral lens is correct, and I'm asking you why your stance is correct, you saying because it doesn't violate your personal stance is stupid. The reason why is because, in other words, that's an argument from ignorance. You're saying that your stance is completely correct due to a lack of contrary evidence. And even if we were to assume there was a lack of contrary evidence, that'd still be false. The reason why is because evidence can exist outside of your personal moral lens. Okay? A moral lens is a personal metric, right? Methodology or ideology of yours, of another person, of a group or social culture to where they share this cultural belief that something may be correct and where they base concepts and whatnot off of social concepts such as gender, right? Such as human rights, such as the Constitution, okay? And the Constitution, right? Obviously, we see different constitutions for different countries. Do you want to know why? You want to take a guess? Because there are different moral attributes and different relative moral lenses for each and every single individual instance. And get this, circumstance. I'm asking you, why is it a problem for in some circumstances for it to be immoral, and in some circumstances it is immoral? Your stance is that in every circumstance it is morally permissible. This needs, get this, evidence. Now, obviously, right, we can't just survey and get evidence from every single person. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do something, right, called the line of traits. This is what we do in abortions, right? To where I'm going to ask you to explain why in every instance it should be permissible. And you're not going to respond with because it doesn't contradict my moral lens. Because guess what, jackass? That's obvious. Okay, because you want to be arguing it if it didn't contradict your moral lens. That's not being put into question. What's being put into question is the validity of your moral lens. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna ask you again, and let's get a valid answer this time. Okay, why should in every instance abortion be morally permissible? There you go. Go ahead.
Is that all?
That is all. Go ahead.
Just get this retard. Okay, so you said that what I said was an argument for. No, you said what I said was an argument from ignorance because of.
Clerks, fix your mics. Clerks, your mic is very like buggy. It's like you
It's
know,
like
when
static
the
kind
audio
of.
jack. Yeah, you know when your
Mentality.
audio jack, the audio jack is like halfway in and halfway out. It sounds like that's like a lot of popping. All right, he's going out.
Talk.
That's what I told him, dude. He's trying to loud mic. He doesn't even have better Discord.
Chlorox, trying to talk.
Let me tell you, you can clarify before.
And for everyone, let me educate everyone in VC. An ad hominem is when you give an insult in replacement of a refutation. I didn't give a refutation, jackass. Right? That was just a reclarification of my argument and my question.
Yo, so working.
But yeah. Go ahead though. What's up? You ready? You
All
back?
right. Nobody's trying to.
You
loud
back
mic.
in the match, champ?
Okay, no, you said it was an
cool.
argument.
So do you remember my question?
I remember everything you said. You said
cool.
that
So
initially
go ahead,
that my
answer.
point was an argument from ignorance because I was using the lack of it, like contradicting my moral compass as some sort of credence for my argument.
For
being the
justification,
case.
exactly.
Yeah, for a justification. That's not what I did. I said, and I quote, that I believe that there is no act in which it isn't impermissible. I'm not saying the lack of evidence of permissibility
Wait,
is
no,
what
but
inherently
I have a question
justifies
though.
it.
Infinity and
I'm saying the
Amir, is it okay if
non-existence
I
of
can
such is
clarify
what
my initial
justifies
question?
it.
Yeah, because this guy's
I'm-
lost. Is it okay if
No,
I
no,
can
no, wait,
clarify my initial question?
You literally agreed
You're
that that's what
definitely
you said
lost,
was an
right? And
argument.
let's
Hey,
not get
archi,
hostile.
archi.
It's okay. I'm just asking, could I clarify my question? Because he's clearly lost.
Hold on. I'm meeting both of y'all real quick. So there's two things. One, if there's a question that's asked by your opponent, before you go into rambling with your argument, I want you to answer the question. Then you can give your argument or elaborate on your answer. And then secondly, I'm only going to start muting you guys when one of you show signs of distress due to the over talking. If you guys are over talking, but neither of you seems to be bothered with it, I'm not going to mute y'all. But go ahead. And yes, you can ask the question, Hershey, if there's no distress.
Why is Galax so bad in chat? Nerd emoji, you retard. I don't fucking know you, dick rider. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Basically, right?
Owner.
I don't care what that foreigner's name is. Anyways, he's not up here debating for a reason. Now, anyways, back to what I was saying. Okay, this is what I'm asking of you, Chlorox, and this is what I'm saying. Right? I don't want, when I ask you why, right? Why is your stance permissible? Why in every instance abortion should be permissible? I call it an argument for ignorance, right? Because I don't want you to just go on a random tangent. I called that because your response, which everyone could hear, right? That stutter, that I mean, right? You said, I mean, it doesn't go against or violate my personal moral compass. That's why, okay? And I told you that's borderline an argument from ignorance because there's no violating properties. That's the reason why, because your justification is the repeatance of your initial claim and the properties that need to be for your claim to become true. These are things that were already presuppositions within the debate. I'm asking you for some type of evidential appeal of anecdotal account or of logical account through induction or some type of form of logicality for you to explain and prove why this shit is permissible and why it logically follows that in every instance, abortion has to be permissible. Funny, right? When you're being put on the burden. So that's what I'm asking of you, okay? So I don't want you to shadow box with me, right? I don't want you to attack random brick walls like a schizophrenic, homeless person, right? I want you to actually attack what I'm saying, okay?
The funny part is
so now
that
that you
you
have that,
agreed
let's do that.
That is actually what you said. And I was explaining why that wasn't an argument from ignorance, because I didn't use the lack of that to justify my claim.
So what was your justification?
I was saying that I said my justification is that the non-existence of it is what automatically justifies my already
what
negative claim.
Of what?
The non-existence of it violating my moral compass.
Exactly. So you're saying because it doesn't
that's not an argument from ignorance.
Compass, that's
it's
the
not
case.
An argument
that's
from
the
ignorance.
only reason why.
That's not an argument from ignorance.
So what's your point?
An argument
so
from ignorance is claiming absence of evidence is evidence of absence.
Because I'm
saying that the
what are you even saying
claim
at this point?
that I already said is justified through that. You're sped. What are you talking about?
You're sped, bro. You just said because of the absence of violation within your moral properties, that's why it's the case. That's exactly what I said, but paraphrasing, you genius.
That's not paraphrasing it. I literally explained the distinction. I can do it again.
That is paraphrasing. That's exactly what paraphrasing is. You sound like a retard, okay? Now listen, regardless of what you're saying, you can think whatever you want, right? You can process in your brain and try to lie to yourself and put a mental lens over your eyelids, okay? But you defending yourself and justifying your position, you defending yourself and justifying your position and trying to do all of that, that's not going to help anything, okay? Okay, I'm trying to break that down to you, okay? You saying that there's an absence of violation within your personal moral property, that doesn't fucking matter, you genius. Do you know why it doesn't matter, you moron? The reason why it doesn't matter, you moron, is because if you're gonna justify your own stance within not violating your own personal moral views, guess what, genius? Would you be defending yourself if it violated yourself? Would you be doing that? Smart nigga? Would you be arguing for a stance you disagree with? Retard? Obviously not, right? So don't fucking cry and don't schizo-babble and panter about how it doesn't violate your shit, right? Your rhetorical attempts of snoring and doing all this shit, it fucking sucks, my nigga. That's not an argument, and you're doing that to compensate with the fact that you lack any argumentation prowess, you idiot. So can you defend, and can you actually, go against what I'm saying, right? Can you provide a coherent argument instead of sounding and snoring like a retarded monkey? Okay?
So defend that. You still couldn't justify it being an argument from ignorance. I'm telling you that it still wouldn't be an argument from ignorance because...
Wait, hold on. You just made a claim. What am I trying to justify? What am I trying to justify? You just made a claim.
Are you going to let me refute or what?
What am I trying to justify? You refute what? I'm asking a question. What are you trying to justify?
Refute your point. I'm going to
I
refute
don't
your
have a
points.
point. I'm on the
I
refuted
wasn't even
stance.
done
You just made
refuting
a
your
point.
points.
Who do you think is making a point here? Who do you think is making a point
You
here?
made multiple points, and I
Who
couldn't
do you
even
think is
finish
making
the
a point
argument
here?
from
Because you
ignorance
also made
point
multiple
that you
points.
put
What
upon
was
me
your initial
without
point? What do you think your initial
interrupting
point
me.
was?
Damn, no moderation. Crazy. Anyways, I couldn't
Okay,
even
I don't
finish all
care
your
because
points.
he said.
Okay, maybe you weren't listening to
So you
something.
just be shotgunning.
I'll repeat it again, little nigga. So one, that shotgun point doesn't go through unless you repeat it once he's unmuted and then let him respond to it. And then secondly, I told you I'm only going to moderate and start muting when the opponent shows signs of distress due to the interrupting. If you both agree that the interrupting is healthy or you don't care and it's not bothering you, I'm not going to mute either of you, nigga. So one, I'm going to clarify so you can contend it. He didn't make a point. He's asking a question. Can you just answer the question, give your elaboration, then make any other point that you want? So go ahead.
He asked that question subsequent to the points I was addressing, and then he interrupted me. Did you not hear that? I'm telling you he did
I
that, and
agree
then
that
I'm
he
still
is.
addressing the other points before he asked the initial
You can ask
question
me a
that came
question,
after
let
that.
me
So
answer it.
can I please address the points before he asked the question? Is that healthy to do?
Go ahead.
Jesus Christ. He's bad. Anyways, yes, it's not an argument from ignorance just because I claim that, oh, since this is not violating my moral compass, or the non-existence of it violating my moral compass, it's a justification for that. That's not an argument from ignorance, because the absence of the evidence of that being the case would be an argument from ignorance, but I'm not claiming that. I'm saying the absence of this taking place in its entirety is a justification to my already negative stance that there is no place where it is impermissible. And for your second point about how like there's yeah, I'll just say there's internal premise and it doesn't require evidence at all, because what I'm asserting is the non-existence of something. The non-existence of that justifies my argument. So if I'm taking that stance, no, it does not require any sort of like special evidence, because how are you going to prove the existence of something that doesn't exist? That's illogical. I'm telling you, the non-existence of this justifies my already negative stance that this like impermissibility does not exist within this framework. If it doesn't violate my personal premise, which I'm arguing from, then we have nothing that we can debate, you retard. We're not debating anything at all. Like, if I have the moral compass is, my moral compass is the only thing I can argue off of. I just told you everything else is led up to the is subject to the other user's
What
will and their
about
framework of what is logical.
what about devil's advocate?
If I
The other
can't
side.
use that, then what does that mean? Huh? Oh yeah, that means that I can't argue from other people's perspective. It's my point.
Let me know when I can respond.
All right, are you done, Chlorox, bro?
No, because I want him to repeat his question again, since I already those other points.
He's gonna repeat.
Nope, not
question
repeating
when
shit.
He's
So
gonna
listen. I'm not repeating shit. I'm not repeating shit.
Yeah, okay, man, come on.
So bet that. Okay, man. So listen. So let me break this down to you. Okay, you retard. I don't think you understand what a negative stance is. So let me explain something to you, and let me explain to the VC why he just contradicted himself. So can someone tell me what his initial stance is? And why this isn't your stance is that it's permissible, morally permissible. And this is a yes or no question I'm asking you. So the minute you try to talk with more nuance, Infinity, mute him. Yes or no? Your stance is in every instance, abortion is permissible. Yes or no? Chop, monkey. Yes or no?
Yes, that's his position, bro. He's not going.
Cool. So now the judge just agreed. I don't know your wording, Chlorox. Now listen, if that's the case, okay, do you know what a negative stance is? A negative stance is when you're taking the negation of something. So are you taking the negation of your own stance, moron? Absolutely not, okay? You just tried burden flipping. Here's the reality. You just told me, okay, that in every instance it is morally permissible. I'm asking for a justification of this. The reason why it's an argument from ignorance, right? And I'll give an argument from ignorance in chat, right? Let me just explain this to you. Let's look at the definition, since clearly he wasn't taught this, okay? And it's okay. You know, I don't really blame you for your lack of education, okay? But look in chat, okay? Okay, chat? Hey, chat, this is called an argument from ignorance. Not what Tron said last night, not argumentation from ignorance. No, because that's what Exility and them say. That's called retardation, right? An argument from ignorance, okay? This is what exactly happens, okay? It says that it's when a proposition is asserted to be true because it has not yet been proven false. Okay, so let's take this into account. Let's take this into account. He just told me, okay, Amir, and so everyone can fully listen. He just told me that his justification, okay, based off his stance being true, why in every instance it has to be permissible, is because it is not in violation between his personal moral lens. That's what we call retardation, number one. That's what we call fallaciousness, number two. That's what we call a logical contradiction and an extension of vicious circularity, number three. And number four, that's what we call an argument from ignorance. Okay? This guy in chat cannot show. What is an Eminem? What is that? Anyways, bro. Anyways, let's just that sit in chat. So listen, okay, that's the reality. Now, the reason why, okay, his stance is stupid, and the reason why him saying, "Oh, well, we can only go off my moral compass," because guess what? We have contradicting moral values. Okay, I've already specified before and prefaced at the beginning of this debate for Amir, Infinity, and multiple people to hear. Right, this is purely clarified. I'm simply taking the stance that my position being that in certain circumstances that it is okay and that it may be okay or it may not be okay to abort, but that in those instances is conditional and is circumstantial. He took the positive assertion, right, not negative stance like he said, because that's what retardation is, right? He didn't take a negative stance. He took a positive stance of saying, hey, I think in every instance, right, this is a knowledge claim, in every instance, okay, sorry, because he said, I know, my fault, not just I think, I know in every instance, which made it even worse for him, that abortion is permissible. This requires justification, right? This is a positive proposition. If his justification is the lack of contradictory prowess within his own personal moral lens and personal moral scope, what I take that to be is him contradicting himself. And what I take that to be is him giving an argument, right, from some form of ignorance. Because he's saying due to this lack of violation within his personal lens, it doesn't matter. And the reason why that also wouldn't matter, right, and this is going to be a new point that I'm bringing up Amir and Infinity to hear, right? The reason why that doesn't matter is because in my own stance, I personally disagree with that. It violates something in my moral lens, right? It's not just one person in this debate. It's two people in this debate. You made the positive assertion that this is the case that's permissible in every condition and instance. This requires justification, and I need to see proof for this. Now, obviously, right, maybe you can't get empirical proof because you can't survey everyone else. I got you, Infinity. But regardless of it, right, you still need some type of proof via a form of inductive, analysis, some proof via anecdotal account, some justification, because what you're saying just is not cutting it. All right. And yeah, Infinity, we'll wrap this up. I got you. Go ahead, Chlorox. What's your next point?
All right, I'll just address everything you said. It's pretty simple.
Yeah,
since
it's pretty simple.
Just
Go
repeated yourself. Yeah. No, I'll say the same thing again, and we can conclude after this if you want to. That's perfectly fine.
We definitely will.
Yeah. I don't. It's not an argument from ignorance yet again. For the same thing I just said, you just repeat it yourself. That's literally argument by repetition. As I said before, evidence of absence. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. That is like the main syllogism when used to like define an argument from ignorance. I'm saying what I said does not appeal to that because I quite literally made the distinction between the two. Right? I said that in this instance, I'm not saying that the absence of like a contradiction in here or the absence of evidence of a contradiction is what suffices or justifies my already negative stance. I'm saying that literally the opposite, the non-existence of the thing itself in its entirety is that, and you didn't like actually attack that at all. And I'll justify why it's a negative stance. Basically, a negative stance is a position that is negating or disapproving of a certain idea, belief, or concept. And my initial premise, which you failed to actually word correctly, was that in no instance was abortion impermissible, not the lack of contradiction in my premises being an argument from ignorance. So that would directly negate the idea that it is impermissible to have abortions, or that there is like any instance in which abortion is impermissible. That's about it.
Are you done?
Oh, brother. Okay. So you don't have to mute him. Wow, that was crazy. I'm just gonna say this. It's Conserve has a shut the fuck up, bitch. Now, anyways, back to what I was saying before this
Graham
idiot
cracker body
decided
built
to
ass
speak.
nigga, shut your
Graham
ass up.
cracker, grandfather body poop ass nigga. What are you talking about? Did you think that
just
you were gonna
cream
get a
yourself?
sob in chat
Get
from
your
that,
ugly
bro?
ass on
Are
somewhere.
you serious, bro? Why would you just say that thinking that wasn't gonna embarrass? Yo, say a joke. Please say a joke to make us laugh. Just one. You gotta recover from that. Just one. Go ahead, Chlorox. You have the stage.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Please. No, Chlorox.
No, I'm gonna let you
someone's
finish.
funny. We have a comedian here. We have a comedian
I'm
here,
gonna
right?
let you finish.
Go ahead.
No,
No,
go ahead, I'm gonna
Chlorox,
let you
Chlorox.
finish.
You're the packer of this server,
No, I'm
right?
gonna let you finish.
No, Chlorox. Go ahead. You were so hilarious, bro. Like, you actually made us all laugh, like, so hard. Go ahead. Say a joke. Make us laugh. Go ahead. The packer, bake me. Go ahead. Are you gonna say I smell like
Are
a
you
graham
gonna address
cracker
my
again?
arguments?
Are you gonna say I smell like a graham cracker again?
Are you gonna address my
Go
arguments?
ahead. Are you gonna say something?
Nobody said you smelled like a graham
Okay
cracker.
then. So stop trying to bake because you suck. You're not a packer. You're a lame Discord debater and barely that at that. Okay. So I'm gonna respond to this final point. You're gonna stop this corny ass bake shit because it's not you. It's not the real you. Okay. You're not a baker. You know that. That's just not the real you.
Go ahead. Address my arguments.
You're a corny nigga with
Address
a
my
lisp
arguments.
who forces his
Address my
voice on
arguments.
Discord to appeal
Address
to
my
niggas
arguments.
and little kids in chat.
Nobody's forcing my voice. What the fuck?
Yes, you are. Let's be real for a second.
not.
Okay, you're a bitch. That's all you are. You're not a packer. You're not a debater. You're a bitch.
Let's be
Okay.
reminded that.
So this is
Infinity
what
has
I'm
to
gonna
go
do.
soon.
I'm gonna
Hold
respond.
up. Alright,
So
thank you.
yeah, of course. I'm gonna respond to what I'm just gonna simply reply.
Go ahead. Bitch.
Okay. The reason why his violation it doesn't make any sense. Okay. He's trying to say due to a lack. I don't know why he keeps putting himself further into this deepening position, right? It appears that he's contradictory in his own view and that he doesn't fully understand what he's saying. Said proposition, when you're making claims such as, I know this is the case, or even when you're making propositions such as I think this is the case, it's going to require some form of deductive or inductive analysis to formulate of what you're saying, besides empirical information, which of course cannot be derived from such a moral lens, since this is something that we cannot exhaustively see within the real world, right? We can't go and kick someone's morality. That's ignorant, right? This is something that's more conceptual, right? After all, metaethics just means after ethics, similar to metaphysics just means after physics in Latin, right? These things are more to be discussed conceptually rather than something to be interpreted physically, right? Because all of us have differing moral lens, and these moral lens are things that we cognitively think in our head. When you make the active decision, Amir, every single day to get up, maybe take care of your girlfriend or go to work or whatnot, these are things you do because they're good for your morality. These are conscious decisions you're making in your head, right? You don't have a button that's going to make you do that, okay? Now, regardless, okay, and I can hear Amir typing aggressively in chat. This is hilarious. But basically, right, we have this thing, okay? He has only a very few ways of proving his position due to such a stance in the instance he put himself in, because he kind of cucked himself here, right? If you're going to make a claim such as in every single instance, this is every single instance, there is no condition to where your stance is false. That means I need proof for in every condition that your stance is false, or that your stance cannot be false, right? Because if your stance cannot be falsified, then at that point, and you're saying that the only reason it's not falsifiable is specifically because of lack of violation, then it's ignorant, right? You keep saying that it's not, you didn't catch it straight. It's an analogy, right? I'm saying you're a good person. Now listen. Regardless, right? If throughout this debate and whatnot, he's saying that the non-existence of this is why I'm doing it. I asked him the non-existence of what, and he said a violation to my stance. He's just repeating himself and paraphrasing himself. This is just a reality. Oh, that was you. No, I said Chlorox, bro. His fat ass fingers.
Nah, bro, you said me. You said me,
Oh, I
bro.
did?
Joker,
My
yes,
fault, bro. My fault.
You
My
said
fault.
Amir typing aggressively,
Nah,
bro.
there's
Man,
only
bro,
one person in this VC that has size 10 fingers. My fault. XL fingers. Now listen.
The fuck?
Basically, oh, I wonder who that is. Now listen.
Me too.
Basically, right? You have this position to where he either has to prove via some form of inductive analysis or some form of anecdotal account, which he's given neither, right? Or he can only, verify and prove his claim through the midst of empirical evidence by surveying every single person in the world, which he obviously cannot do, right? So if he's used neither of these bases and his only basis is simply due to a lack of violation in his personal stance of his moral ideology, and we understand that we all have differing moral ideologies, I'd consider his moral ideology baseless. And I'd say that at that point, it holds just as much as a moral ideology as a Scientologist does, right? It's all the same essentially. So that's why I'm taking this, right? And that's why it's pretty obvious, right? I've just repeated myself. You can address and you can try to, come up with some wordings to address what I said, or just repeat yourself again. But after this, we're going to conclusions. So
Yeah, the funny part is that you didn't address what I said at all. No,
that's
I'll go over
hilarious
it.
because I did.
Y'all
That's
the
No,
hilarious.
you just repeated yourself yet again.
So
no,
do you want to go to
you said that. You
conclusions?
said what
That's
I
what I
said.
just said I was going to
no,
do, you
said,
retard. Did I
you
not
said
just
that
say I was
said
going to
it
do
was
that?
an argument from
Did I
ignorance.
not just say I was going to do that?
You said that.
Okay, then.
That
So
I
stop being a
said,
retard. Okay. Are you going to go to conclusions or are you going to address what I said?
I was going to address what you said, and then
Okay,
you
so
said
do
we
it
could go
then.
into conclusions after that. I was
Don't
gonna
going
do it,
to. Do it then.
I'm gonna do it. What the fuck?
So do it then. Go ahead.
Don't interrupt me then, bitch. Anyways.
Then go then, bitch.
Dude.
Notice how you're still not going? Go. We're waiting.
This nigga. Anyways, yeah, it's not. Look, he
Nice
says
one.
what I said lines up with an argument from ignorance, and I'll make the distinction one more time if he didn't catch it the first 7 times. Okay, it's not an argument from ignorance. I said the non-existence of what justifies the non-existence of what I assert is already the non-existence of that is proof of my claim being the case. That's not in any stretch of the imagination an argument from ignorance. I made the distinction because the argument from ignorance, which he did not attack this point either, is the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Like claiming that the contrary to that is an argument from ignorance. I'm saying it's not because I'm saying that the absence of this thing or the thing that gives credence to this being the case is not justification for what my stance is. I'm saying that the non-existence of the thing in its entirety, not the evidence or whatever,
Wait, for clarification, what do you mean by the thing again? Wait, what do you mean by the thing again? Non-existence of what again?
The non-existence to the violation of my.
Okay, right.
Yeah, right. Which you didn't attack yet. Anyways,
Which I did, but you're deaf.
No, you did. You just repeated yourself.
That's been my entire point.
Anyways, no.
You look like an idiot, bro.
Your entire point was a straw man. Congratulations.
That's been the entire point.
Your entire point was a straw man. Congratulations.
You look like an idiot, bro. How did you
Your
manage
entire
to
point was a
possibly
straw
fail
man.
that? You sound like a stupid prick, dude.
Bro, both of y'all literally agreed that you were just repeating yourself. Do you want to conclude or not, my nigga? Like,
Yes, I do.
No, because I want to address the other points.
You
Okay.
just said he
You
was
said,
repeating.
wait, no. You said that what I said was a contradiction
say
and
that was new?
requires like
What did I say that was
outside.
new?
Wait, no. I'm addressing his other point.
What did I say that was new?
You said that what I said requires external justification that was contradictory.
That's what I said
that
the
this
first
is
point.
Wait,
You look like an
no,
idiot.
I'm addressing it because you added more onto it.
Do you have tracking issues, bro?
You added more onto it, so I'm going to
Are you
address
okay?
it.
Are you tired?
You added more onto it, so I'm going to address the other parts.
What did I add
Jesus
more onto
Christ.
it? Elaborate.
I'm saying that it does. I'm saying that it's not contradictory.
You can't even elaborate.
You didn't propose any evidence as to why it was contradictory, and I said if I think it requires. I said if I say wait, no, don't interrupt me while I'm addressing you, my nigga, because that's something you didn't do in my arguments. If I say I think, then that means that my claim requires a dostoevsky just.
Hey. Just calm down. Lower the mic.
Already be done. Chill. Let him go.
Yeah, all right.
Go.
Oops.
Nigga.
Jesus Christ, let me finish. Damn. If I say I think, right, it requires a doxastic justification, which I already gave and was ignored blatantly by you not tracking and saying that I didn't do that. I'm saying that I have to give otherwise in the structure to where, say, if I didn't do that, I have either this or this to do. It's a false dichotomy. That's literally what it is. We can conclude. That's fine.
Oh my god, bro. Like,
Did this nigga just toxic? Did you just hear that? Toxic. Did you just, bro? Did what did you just say was a false dichotomy? Oh, brother. Oh wow. Oh wow. Stop bullying kids. This no, I'm not even bullying no one. He was trying to, yo, I swear, I would not have debated this nigga if he wasn't talking shit. It's because I knew this nigga so I could sense when a nigga's bitch baited his accent. I could sense it. I could sense it. Flabbergasted. Yes, I'm flabbergasted. You know what? He just called a false dichotomy. You know what? Are we going to conclusions? Yes or no? Yes or no? We're going
Go
to
ahead and
conclusions.
conclude, nigga.
You can conclude first. I don't really care.
I just gave the last point. Just go ahead and conclude. I was
yeah,
server
you
muted
lost,
anyway.
nigga.
I don't
You
even
lost,
know.
bro. My judgment is Archie. You lost, bro.
Yeah, let the nigga
Amir,
conclude.
Amir, do you have judgment?
Dick sucking ass nigga.
It's
I
not dick
prefer-
sucking. I just have
I think
judgment.
at that point,
Conclusion.
I think we've all seen what we need to see here. If you want to conclude, you can. I'm not the one who just said that was a false dichotomy. I'm not the one.
Do you want me to like extrapolate on my
I'm not the one who said that I'm not making an argument from ignorance. It's just that nothing violated the non-existence being the violation of the contradiction within your own moral lens, right? I'm not the one who just said that retarded shit.
I'm not the one who
I think I'm
straw
fine
man my
during
own
this debate.
argument. Yeah.
Oh, that's a straw man? That's a straw man?
Hey, Amir, do you have judgment, bro?
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, my God.
All right, Amir, who won?
I believe there was like 3 points. I believe Chlorox won 1, RG won 2.
Yeah. Okay. What point do you think Chlorox won?
There was a bit of a straw manning going on. I will say that there was instances.
Okay. What do you think the straw man was?
It was the whole his very first premise. I believe that was a bit straw manned, and it kind of led on to later
What do you think
on.
the first premise was?
Let me go into his premise. Chlorox refused.
By the way, oh god.
Yeah, so the very first one is with the, let's see. Clerks claimed that it didn't violate his moral compass. Absence of evidence would be the case. The
Wait. So
entity,
just to be clear, you think the straw man is Archie representing his point to be by virtue of a lack of violation of his moral compass? It would be true.
the entity would existing more be permissible aid in the evidence. That was like I said. I believe Archie won the debate. There was just one point that I would give to Clorox.
I know. I'm saying that point is the straw man. I'm asking you, do you believe the straw man is Archie, quote unquote, misrepresenting the point to be by virtue of a lack of violation of my moral compass is true? Do you think that's what the straw man was?
Yeah, in my personal opinion. And then
Okay, you understand. You understand what Clorox said initially was my moral compass is true or correct by virtue of a lack of violation, and then he further elaborated by saying you need to provide a contradiction in which Archie disagree with.
Got it. All right, thank you. I'll fix that.
All right.
All right, that's fixed. The reason why I believe that Archie did win is because of the final judgment with him arguing different moral compasses are addressed properly, explain the subjectiveness. Because it's bad doesn't give the proper reasoning, in my opinion. He also added that because it lacks a violation on his personal stance does not mean that it's reasonably true. That is my.
Okay, you're done.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, with the false dichotomy, Archie disagreed. He didn't justify or elaborate on why it was a false dichotomy. Secondly, with the straw man point, he didn't straw man. He represented his point correctly. I know his opponent can't track it all, but you can go to the recording and see that this nigga literally said, my moral compass is true, which is subjective, by the way. My moral compass is true by virtue of a lack of violation, which Archie then repeated, and Clorox agreed. That's what he said. What the fuck? And then Archie defined an argument for ignorance as using a lack of evidence or reason to justify whatever position he's trying to take. So if he says that Goku has a big ass BBC, a big ass dick, and then he says this is true by virtue of a lack of evidence.
So
that would fit the
gay.
criteria. That would
Gotcha.
fit the criteria of being an argument for ignorance by virtue of Archie's metric. That nigga Clorox kept on saying he's.
Bro, who the fuck removed him? Who the fuck removed?
It's fine. I'll bring him right back up. Where you at? Niggas not finna abuse my nigga. Yep. Niggas can't. You can't run away from this judgment. You can't run away.
I don't know why niggas.
Nobody took that nigga out. What are you
And I'm
talking
so
about?
glad. I'm
Yeah,
so
it was-
glad
I'm
that
like,
this guy
what?
just joined. Let me finish Infinity. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I don't know who the fuck moved down, but anyways, yeah. So all he kept on doing was repeating his claim. It's a straw man. It's a straw man. Obviously, you believe that you repeating it doesn't make it true. Archie already gave justification as to why that's what you said, and you can go back to the recording. It's apparent that's what you said. Plus, both judges now agree that's what you said, my nigga. I don't care what bias friends you send it to, but I'm gonna lay out what you said. He asked you why your position is something we should accept or why your position is true. You said your position specifically. You said you know your position is correct because there's a lack of violation of your position within any circumstance of it being morally permissible. So your position is that I know it's morally permissible in every single circumstance. He asked you why that's the case. You said because there's a lack of violation of my moral compass, which is the argument for ignorance by definition. So yeah, he's guts.
Yo, Tron.
Oh, this
Yo,
too
peep this
easy.
shit. No.
So let's say some cut to Tron because now you're cooked.
Nobody crying. Tron is my
What did you
judge.
say in chat?
Tron is my judge.
What did you say in chat to me? What did you say in chat to me?
Tron is my
You
judge.
couldn't debate for
Tron is
shit.
my
I
judge.
was disappointed in you. How about that? I want you to now unmute him. What did you say?
Wait, Amir. I hope you know if someone perm abuses on stage, it doesn't show who's removing down. It doesn't show that on stage. But anyways, I can go.
No, I know.
doesn't.
Yo, peep this.
Wait, hold on, wait.
Wait, it doesn't pop up in auto log? Wait, yo,
Yeah,
check
I'm
that.
him. I'm him.
Oh, did you get
That
fully
shit
disconnected?
crazy. No.
I'll say I'm not him. I don't even condone bullying niggas like that.
Stage removals don't pop up on audit logs.
I don't even
I made the
condone
distinction
bullying niggas
between
who
what
are
he
that
said and what
bro.
I said 9 times, and he said it
It's
was
too easy. It's too easy.
That's crazy.
How about you come a little nigga? How about you
How
come a
about you
little
come